Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review. Back to reviewing Season 2 of Call of the Night, Episode 21. Now, leaving off in the flashback of Anko's flashback back when she first met Nazuna. Of course, when she had a different of course she had a different first name back then though. But continuing on though, but I'll just call her by what she's called her character is known for. So, but she explained about her backstory in the flashback when she first met her. Explained about her parents are always fighting and so thinking that she's been neglected and her father is always out with another woman. And so after her mother comes home and thinking that they're gonna get caught, which Nazla hid in the closet, and so they go to a cafe, and then they see her father walk in alone. So she hides under the table, and I was telling her what's he doing. He's has on his computer, then he's on his phone, and then he just gets up and walks out, right? And then so Nazna starts to follow him as he's getting to a taxi. She's going super speed to try to catch up with him, but then she gets attacked by another vampire. But wait, she's like, what? Who was that? What happened? As if I guess she didn't know about there was a speed of another vampire. I guess at that point though, but then Anko showed her her bloody hand, but then she noticed it's healed very quickly, and then she finally tells her that she's a vampire, and she's like, what, a vampire? And so asking, do you drink blood though? And so, oh yeah, but and then she kind of she kind of like Uncle's to the point where she at this time where she doesn't feel like she's not wanted by her parents anymore, right? So she kind of Nazu tries to convince her, hey, why not make you a vampire? Leave your old life behind and become a vampire and be with me more. And so and then she tells about the whole rule. She tells about the whole rule about in order to become a vampire, you have to fall in love with a vampire. So, and since Anko is not the one particularly the romantic type, you could say, but I guess Nazo made an exception because either that Anko has taken more a liking into Nazuna though, but there's nothing. Don't feel that much romance though, and even to the point where she makes another romance a kissing joke, and of course Na's like getting her all the usual embarrassed with the whole that sappy stuff what she's had before, right? So she does agree to suck her blood, and she does, and she says that she's the first one to drink blood who was like fully awake, right? Because she's always drank the blood from drunken people who are passed out. So it's like, hey, now that I guess you could become a full vampire yet though, but and then it's funny is that then as soon as she after that whole you could say embrace, but she goes home and then all of a sudden her dad all of a sudden just goes up and apologizes for everything, for neglecting her, doing with all the women. She's fully apologized to his wife, her mom, and says, I've changed, let's start over again, be a family again. And it's like the whole bomb just dropped on Uncle's, like, after her blood getting sucked, all of a sudden now her dad is like, oh, I apologize all of a sudden. And so like they all have, because it's her birthday, her 18th birthday, so birthday cake and all. And so, and Anko asks, hey, where's that lighter they gave you, and it's like, hey, well, I'm using it because it's too good of a lighter, right? So he goes and lights a cigarette. He says, "Oh, it's all right. The taste is a little off." And then all of a sudden, when he tries it on another one, he wants to try again on another one. He freezes up. He drops the lighter, and she's asking, "Dad, what's wrong?" And he goes and picks it up to give it back to him. And then all of a sudden, he lunges at her and almost scratches her face, bloodied up. Turns out her dad has become a vampire. So I guess if it's not going to fully explain it though, that her dad, guess with the other women that whoever he went out with was a vampire and he became a vampire. So followed another vampire and he became a vampire. So and now he never had the urge to suck blood before. It's like, but he's thinking in his mind, he's like, oh, this is all this is all a dream, right? I never hit her, or my wife is with his wife. It's like this is all a dream, so it's okay, right? And then his wife comes charges in and is like, hey, you apologize. What are you doing? And then he goes and just sucks her bone dry. Which is the first time you see this in a series where someone literally gets sucked bone dry in this. I mean, with the one vampire from the first season in the classroom where Ko and his friends were, because the guy has been missing for 10 years, he never once had any blood before, so he had that monstrous urge to do so. But here, I guess he had the craving for the first time of that human blood too, but he didn't go out fully monsterfy like the other guy did. Instead, but if we hear this first time, we say, "Oh, okay, someone got sucked bone dry, right?" And so, and this is the turning point of Anko's, in her way, her descent into in her own madness in a way, because sees her mom's dead, charges at him, and we don't fully see him kill him. We just see the aftermath, And so there's a point where now when Nazo comes over, she's sitting on the floor, just flicking the lighter, the cap of the lighter, right? You hear the metallic clink of the lighter, right? And this is where you see her eyes go pitch black, right? How she was, where we see her right now in the present. Now we see her those crazy black eyes of hers now. And she goes like, "Hey, Anazuna, can you kill me if you suck me completely dry if you would?" And she kind of says, "Yeah, but it's like I wouldn't do that though." And then she gets up and it's like, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to school." And this is where she goes and says, "Bye, Nazuna." I guess that's where they parted the ways, I guess. And that's when now she gets her dad's glasses outside. She puts them on. And it's like, wow, my dad's vision really sucked, So I guess, wow, yeah. Well, she also told Nazar, like, I guess she's not. I guess she doesn't want to become a vampire now. I guess because of the whole incident. So and after that, we cut to at the very last 5 seconds before the credits is cuts to the present, and we see Anko's just lighting her cigarette, and we see Ko and Naza standing in front of her old house, and he's like, "Hey, it's like, how you doing, vampire?" Disney called Naza by her name, just called her, "Hey, vampire," or "Hello there, vampire." So yeah, so that's pretty much the whole story of how Anko's her own descent into madness of killing vampires and hating vampires because of that, because her father became a vampire and sucked her mom's blood dry. Even though Naza said she didn't fully explain what vampires are because she never experienced vampires like that before. So this is her showing her hatred her hatred of vampires now, and why she wants to destroy them, because she sees them as blood-sucking monsters that have experienced with by her own father. So, but yeah, it is kind of a sad thing where her family are always pissed at each other. She kind of feels neglected by both, right? And so, I feeling nowhere to go. She decided she agreed to become Nazuna's offspring. Even they allowed her to suck her blood, and so and then it's shortly after that, her dad just goes and drops the bombs like, "Hey, I'm sorry, let's be a family again." And then after that, her own dad just goes and sucks her mother bone dry. And then she had to kill him herself. So, and how she grew her hate towards vampires. And now she didn't fully explicitly say she didn't fully say, Nazuna, I hate you because you're a vampire, but no, she didn't say that. She said, bye, Nazuna. So now after this, going to the next episode, now is how their counter is, because that part I don't know up to a point though. So, but I was looking forward to seeing it. So, but yeah, now that they're seeing the two now forever old house now. So we'll just see what on the next one. So, but yeah, so that's episode 21 of season 2 of Call of the Night. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time. Later.